everybody, it's Courtney with RnA ReSet, and right here is Nikki and Kevin. Nikki and Kevin have such an amazing story to tell, and I can't wait for y'all to hear it. So why don't you guys, this was maybe 5 years ago. I know you two were working out in great shape, really taking care of your bodies, but then something drastically changed. Can you tell us about that moment?
Sure. Hi, Courtney. It was about 4.5, almost 5 years ago. We had been going to the gym 5 days a week, cardio and all the weightlifting. Felt great. I thought we both looked great. Until, first of all, I am a respiratory therapist by training, and I happened to be sitting over on the couch next to Kevin, kind of watching a movie, and I heard an irregular heartbeat in his chest. Of course, I thought I was making it up and just finding something to worry about. So we went and dug out an old blood pressure cuff. This was on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And it showed an irregular heartbeat. So I, of course, he would not go to the ER. So instead, he went to his PCP the next morning, who did an EKG and sent him immediately to the cardiac care hospital. Kevin was in AFib. Right. By the time I got to the hospital, they had already.
What do you call it?
Cardioverted
me twice.
It did not work. He spent a couple nights in the ICU where they did a cardioversion, set him into normal rhythm, and they sent him home and said, "We don't know why this happened, but you're going to be fine."
Wow.
2 months later, or a month later, of course, I followed him around, made him wear a Fitbit, and checked his pulse every 30 minutes. Yeah. And from there, we found out that he went back into AFib and back to the cardiologist. They had recommended a surgery. Kevin was a no.
Ablation.
So they decided to put him on a ton of cardiac meds and just said that they would control his rhythm to keep it under 200. But when he went, your atrial chambers were beating between 300 and 400 times a minute. Now, the best part is,
and you didn't feel that? Like, you would think you would just.
No feeling.
Wow.
No, I don't have a heart. No symptoms whatsoever.
Wow.
Felt great, actually. And I actually made the appointment at the doctor to just no, I'm okay. I'm just going to shut you up. It'll be okay. And we're going to go. And that's when it all started happening.
Wow.
I had no symptoms, zero.
It's amazing that, you even caught it to begin with.
Right. Oh, for sure.
So, you had the doctors, you're taking different medications. What did that do for you? Did it give you the results you wanted?
Well, so first off, I didn't feel bad. So, it's like it wasn't making me feel any better, from that perspective. It was all about internally, regulating my heart. And so the drugs we were taking was just to try to regulate the heart. And basically what we found out is that they just didn't work. And that's why we had to go to the next step, which was the ablation. Yeah, heart disease runs in my family. So when I got there, they did all the checkups. They were going through I got cathed. That was fine. And they could find really no reason for atrial fib. They didn't know why it happened. So we did the ablation, and that was about 4 years? Yeah, a 4 or 5 hour surgery, I think, something like that.
Well, I think before the ablation, I think what was the scariest and what prompted us to start looking at the ReMag and the Realign and the whole course was that, shockingly enough, his ejection fraction was 17%. So for those of you who don't know, 60 to 65 is normal. They said that if he dropped to 15%, now mind you, this is the man I'm going to the gym with every day, love of my life. They said if you drop to 15%, you will become a candidate for a heart transplant.
Oh my gosh, what a scary moment.
Oh, you leave your body real quick. You're done. You're just checked out completely.
Yeah.
So that's when we started the ReMag. They said that they would do an echocardiogram 60 days, 90 days after the ablation, and that they were hopeful that it wouldn't get worse. And best case scenario was that it would be back to about 30%, 25 to 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, if we can get you to 35% ejection fraction, you should be able to live a normal life, and you'll just, that'll be a good thing.
Yeah. And so you started taking ReMag during that time period?
Right before the ablation.
Okay.
So that was the first time.
You, if I remember correctly, you had a friend that knew about Dr. Carolyn Dean and her formulas, and she was like, you need to take this stuff. You need to try the ReMag. You need to, and you guys are like, I mean, at the time she kind of wears you down. You're like, okay, we'll give it a shot. And so you do, right?
Well, I mean, I come from an acute care setting in hospital. I was like, well, no, I'm going to take what, the doctors prescribe, and that's it. And we got to the point where we're like, well, we're going to try anything.
Yeah. I don't like taking pills. I don't like taking pills, period. And it's like, I'll try anything if I don't have to take pills. Right. So that's kind of how, okay, let's try it. Right. I don't want to be a slave to the pills the rest of my life. Right.
Yeah.
So we started taking the ReMag at that point. So, capful a day
with tomato juice.
Yeah. Its taste is not great.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. So mixing it with tomato juice just cuts it completely. So
yeah.
Almost like a Bloody Mary, but not quite. So have been on it ever since.
Well, we went back on the 90-day where they did the echocardiogram, and I'm pretty nervous, and I was pretty tearful, and I'm like, please be at 30%. Please show that this ablation with this ReMag supplement that we were taking, please let it be closer. It's showing on the healing side. And lo and behold, at 90 days, what was your ejection fraction? 55.
55, yeah.
55%.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Even the cardiologist was like, wait, I don't know what happened here.
Yeah. He's like, I don't see this happen.
Yeah.
Did they ask you like what are you doing?
They always do, no matter when you walk in, what drugs are you taking? How much exercise? It's kind of a normal routine. Once you start going to a cardiologist, same questions every time, right? And so they just put down what I'm taking so I take something else for the inflammation of joints and stuff like that. So they just keep it as a list of medications you're taking.
And they really didn't know what to say to us. They just kind of looked at us and went, huh. And then they just said, well, keep doing what you're doing. Right. They didn't know what to say. That all I heard was, we'd never seen these results before.
That's amazing.
It was 4.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there would be a huge chance he would go back into AFib.
Right.
Not one run of AFib since then.
Yeah, I go. For the first 3 years, I wore a loop recorder, or somewhat of a loop recorder inside my chest that actually monitors. So if there was a problem, it would actually tell the doctors because I had no symptoms. And then that wore out. And so I go back every 6 months.
What they told you yesterday.
Yeah, said yesterday is like pretty much, well, we can go to a year, every year, or we can get to the point where you just call me if you don't feel good. And I'm like, what? Okay, I like that. No reason.
This whole time you've been taking ReMag, but have you been taking anything else with that?
Yeah, I'll take Remite every once in a while. Well, I also take some Pico Silver if I feel like sick or something like that. But
Realign.
And the Realign, I take the Realign. I like the Realign for energy. So other than that, that's it actually.
Shame on us for not listening to Dr. Dean a little bit earlier.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad we did when we did, though.
Right. Yeah, me too. Me too. So, current day, no, like you're not having any issues if you've not had to go into the hospital and anything.
We still work out. We still, it's, I guess that's the best way to say it. There isn't any changes, so that's good. Yeah.
That's a big difference from the day that they said you could be a heart transplant candidate to, we're going to Florida next week again for vacation. So
yeah, right.
That's amazing. Thank you guys for sharing your story and your experience with the formulas and how they've really helped support your health and your journey as you've gone through quite a lot in the last few years. So again, thank you so much for taking your time out to hang out and tell everybody about it.
Absolutely. We tell everybody we can.
Yeah, we tell
That's
everybody.
amazing. Well,
Thank you.
if you guys want to learn more about this story, you can check it out in Dr. Dean's book, which she's currently writing, Total Body Reset for Men. So be on the lookout for information for that book that's coming out soon. You can also learn a lot more about men's health through her free webinar that's happening on November 4th. Again, check out our social media. We're going to have a ton of information about where you can sign up and reserve your spot. It is a free event with such great information in it. You're not going to want to miss this event. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.